Hi, and welcome to the 15th episode of Old Guys, Gentlemen Flippers. And today I'm going to be covering the Kizer Dukes Vanguard version flipper. It's a version of the Kizer Dukes frame lock knife. This is a knife that's made in China, and it cost me $70, so it's lower than the average cost of the knives that I buy. So I pulled it out, and I wasn't overwhelmed by this is the G10, but it's kind of nice, and it's nice and grippy. The only jimping on here is on the flipper, and the flipper is a little bit on the large size. But then I went ahead and I flipped it, and I went, whoa! This thing flips like a $200 knife. I think it does have a bearing system. It closed pretty easily too, kind of depending on how you flick it. And it depends on one other thing. It's pretty simple. It's just like 3 screws, and then 4 screws, and then the pocket clip. This the screws they use in this are pretty cheap, and they use some really sort of permanent Loctite, it seems like. I was able to pull this apart, and I can get this thing so it comes back pretty quickly. I know that's not a priority for most people, but it's just kind of cool if you're playing with it. Actually, this thing kind of hits my finger on the way back. But the deployment is just, it feels really good. Just as good as like my ZT 0450. Only that didn't cost $69. Some other things about the knife. It is overall length is 7.125 inches, blade length 3 inches, which is about the blade length that I like. It's hollow ground, and there's a little bit of, it's not a perfect grind. Let's see if you can see it over here. It's a little bit of oil left on there. Oh, let's appreciate the mirror finish. It was a little bit difficult to sharpen. It's a Chinese VG10 steel, which is a pretty decent steel, and that part wasn't the difficult part. The difficult part is there's just a little bit of a recurve right here. But I use the KME system, and I have it's called a jewel stick. It's a 3-sided jewel stick with it's another diamond. I didn't wash my hands. And it did a pretty good job. And when I was all done, it was like super sharp all the way along here, and just a little bit rough down here. So then I used my strop block, and I just kind of edged this thing over when I worked it down the block, and that brought it right into hecka sharp range. The other thing that's a little difficult is that this is a swedge here, so there's no flat surface here to grab a hold of. But somebody had posted this using some kind of a spongy, grippy stuff that's used inside the bottom of cabinets, and I put that over it, and boy, that held it really solid. I'll have to do a video on how I sharpen these things, but I'm really happy with this knife. What else can I say about it? Okay, it's the frame is stainless steel with the G10 on the outside. It's a pocket up, tip up clip, and it looks like that's all you get. Sorry for the lefties. I like it because it looks good and it deploys really well. It's really light. It's like 2.66 ounces. Really affordable at $70. Some of the stuff I don't like is I wish there was a little bit more jimping, like right up here. But this, because the texturing of the G10, this is a nice, that just feels really solid in my hand. I mentioned the recurve and the cheap screws, but this is another knife that, if you want a pretty decent knife, a flipper, for, let's see if I can do it this time. Yes! For 70 bucks, that looks good and is sharp and good deployment. This is a pretty decent knife. So I hope you got some value from this review, and until next time, bye.